Hey, Michael here from Beer Baseball Blog, The Adventures of Craft Beer and Baseball. This is the Beer Baseball Hoppy Hour, episode 2 for October 31st, 2020. Happy Halloween to everybody out there. This is a round table baseball discussion. All we ask is you bring something to drink and an opinion. Before we get started today, wherever you are watching us live today, please give us a like and a comment. Let us know that you're out there. And as always, we'd appreciate if you subscribe and turn on notifications. My name is Michael Mondragon, and I'd like to introduce my weekly Beer Baseball blogcast partner, Angelo Trinidad. Are you there?
Hey, everyone. Happy Halloween. Happy Hoppy Halloween, I should say.
That's right. Yes, absolutely. Hoppy Halloween indeed. And Angelo is the only person here who's an Angel fan, but today he's an honorary Dodger fan because he has a lot of friends that he's brought together. And I've brought a couple friends as well. So we are here to celebrate the world champion Los Angeles Dodgers. And last Tuesday was the first time since 1988. So let's meet these very passionate baseball fans and ultimately lifelong Dodger fans. So first up, we have Ryan from Camarillo, California. Welcome, Ryan.
Thanks for having me. Thank you.
You got it. All the way from Texas, North Richland Hills, Texas. Mark, thank you for joining today.
Thanks for having me, guys. Appreciate it.
You got it. My old friend, also Angelo, we have a mutual friendship through the Mat Wars. James Morgan from Corona, California. Great to see you.
Thanks, guys, for having me. So excited to be here.
Thank you so much. And Gino Munoz, who is actually at Game 6 in Arlington. Thank you so much for joining today.
Thanks for having me.
All right, so before we get started, I'd like to go around the room and we're gonna talk some World Series and talk about your fandom and your association to baseball and how much this means to you all. But first, let's go around the room and see if you're drinking anything. We are the Beer Baseball blog, so we always like to hear what people are having to drink. So is anybody having a craft beer today?
I'm not sure.
Silence.
It depends on. I'm only saying because I know how you feel about what I'm drinking, Mike. So I'm not going to say craft beer.
Okay.
But
okay.
Since I'm one of the vets on this show,
Okay.
I will say I'm drinking Golden Road Brewing, which some people consider craft brew, but we at the Beer Baseball blog do not consider it craft brew because they're mainstream. But I'm drinking a refreshing mango cart, and I'm drinking it out of my dugout mug, courtesy of Chad M. So Chad, if you're watching this, live or later on, thank you again for hooking us up with these dugout mugs, and I'm enjoying a nice mango cart in here. No dribble so far, by the way.
Right on. Anybody else? Yeah, I see that you have a Shiner Bock.
So technically not craft, but it is local to Texas.
It is a beer. Yes.
But I did come prepared, and there is one that I do have. Ryan is well aware of this.
Oh, yeah.
Blood and Honey by Revolver Brewing. It's out in Texas. It's pretty rock solid. Pretty rock solid. I got Ryan on it. So
right on.
The name looks really it makes it sound really appealing too.
Yeah, I've heard of that as well.
I am with all of you. It is not a craft beer. I also have a mango cart.
Oh, right on. So going LA. At least you guys are going LA. So that's right. Good. That's good. Gino, you got anything brewing up down there?
I'm on parent detail today, so I'm drinking Italian water.
That's all good.
When you're on parent detail, it's even more critical that you got let it going. You know what I mean?
I think you're onto something, Angelo.
And James, I don't know if you're a drinker or not. Did you?
I am. What I have set and prepped to go as my usual go-to is the Glenlivet 18 out of my. You can see it there, my nice classy Dodger glass here. Chad M didn't get me a mug either, so I guess I'll just have to go with this.
Well, Chad M is actually a big Dodger fan, so maybe we can solicit him, and maybe I'll throw your address his way and see what happens. Maybe something magical will come. I'm actually have an El Segundo Brewing Grand Hill IPA, which is if you're familiar with the Stone Cold Steve Austin beer, they're the ones that do that. So always a go-to LA beer for me. Wish I could get something from Highland Park, which is my go-to right before I go to the Dodger games. But alas, this COVID thing is going a little bit longer than I expected. So couldn't make it over there, but that's all right. All right, so let's get back to this. All right, so let's talk some World Series. So James, like how long have you been a fan, and how long obviously you've been waiting for this for a long time, but how long have you been a fan?
I'm going to go with the cliche answer of the second I was born. So 37 years ago, my family was born and bred with the Los Angeles Dodgers. Even when I was growing up, going over to my grandmother's house, we'd listen to Vin Scully on the radio, of all things. I mean, she had a television, but we listened to it on the radio. And then, so I was 5 years old the last time in 1988 when they last won. Prior to just a few days ago, so I'd say lifelong fan.
Right on, Gino. I know that. I mean, you remind me of kind of James. As like, in fact, I think you guys are even on the same side of your seating, so you guys might even see each other when we finally get back to the stadium. How long have you been a fan, Gino?
Since I was a kid, I used to watch it with my grandfather. I remember being 4 and sitting in front of a TV and just not really knowing what was going on. But yeah, I mean, I'm 50 years old, so probably like 46 years.
Nice.
So.
Well, we're the same age, and I've lived here half my life. Unfortunately, I should be a Dodger fan, actually more than I am. But growing up in Arizona, we didn't have a team, so I had to get the St. Louis Cardinals because that's what my family association is with. So, but I've actually been to a lot of great Dodger moments. So, in fact, Max Muncy's home run in the 18th inning was one of my best games I've ever been to in my life. So, and I was at, unfortunately, it was a Cardinal moment, but Fernando Tatis's 2 grand slams against Chan-Ho Park in '99. So, I've had a lot of great baseball memories in Dodger Stadium. So, Ryan, how long have you been a Dodger fan?
I'm so I was 6 when we won in '88. Obviously don't recall any of that. My family at the time was not big into sports. So growing up, as I became bigger into sports, they kind of followed. So I'm going to go with probably since I was 8 or 10, 8, 9, 10 in there when I started playing Little League baseball and all that stuff. And my dad started taking me to games. So if I had to get, I mean, I'm going to say lifelong because it's the only thing I've known. But since I really got into playing and watching it, probably since I was 8 or 9. So 1990.
Wow. Okay, great. Mark, how about you?
Wow, I feel like a late bloomer then, because I never really got into baseball. It was always basketball centric and then football to a degree. I'll say like right around 94, 95 when we were rolling out rookies of the year with Nomo, Piazza, Mondesi, Hollinsworth. Actually, my first memory of a sporting event was going to a Dodgers Marlins game, and my dad, we had to leave early because it went extra innings, and then I believe it was Piazza hit a game winner backup center, and I was like, wait, we just left. But I did come away with a Hideo Nomo like hologram that I still have to this day.
That's awesome.
Oh, right on. Yeah, that's a bit of a baseball. It's a baseball rule for myself. You don't leave until the last out. My girlfriend and I, we actually went to a minor league game, and she was getting a little tired in the ninth, as most people would, right? And I looked at her and I said, we can't leave. And she's like, why? And I said, like, there's a no hitter going. So you never know. Yeah, I mean, until you stay at the end. I say most baseball fans, I understand leaving. early because of the traffic at Dodger Stadium. But yeah, you miss moments like that are true, really fun baseball moments. So we're gonna throw this out to the crowd. Like, what was going through your mind when Urias threw the third strike for the final out? I mean, obviously elation, but tell me what was going on. We'll start with you, James.
So, as you know, with Julio going up there and he's dealing, so I felt comfortable there. Of course, you can't not think of previous with injuries and things like that. And here's this big moment for this young guy. Can he handle it? And he just seemed like his heart rate was in the 40s. Just how he was so dialed in. I was nervous that there would be a analytic change based off of let's bring somebody else in, which ultimately ended up helping us from the other side. But nerves, elation, concern, just waiting for that final out.
Yeah. Anybody else want to chime in on what they were feeling?
We're talking about the last out specific, like as it happened.
Out specific. Yep. Like what was
I compare it to a time I met the immortal one, Hulk Hogan. And Mark's gonna laugh because when I met him, I literally said nothing, because it was just one of my idols growing up. But I literally did not have a thought in my head, and it was just like a flashback of emotions of everything since, like, the things that I remember from like 2013 up to this date. Hanley Ramirez breaks his hand against the Cardinals. Mm-hmm. In 15, we lose to the Mets in Game 5. Mark and I are there. 2016, we lose to the Cubs. 2017, personally, I'm a Route 91 survivor, so I had that the first week of October, and then a month later, we lose the World Series. So I went from like an up or a really down moment to we get to the World Series, it's an up moment, and then we lose, down moment. Then, of course, the Red Sox. And then last year, I'm at the Nats Game 5, and we lose that too. So it's just all of those things flashing back to this one moment. And like, I didn't have a thought in my head. I literally put my head in my hands and I cried. And my fiance came in to like kind of give me a hug. It was such a emotional thing because of what everybody has gone through. I mean, just going back to 2013, forget since, 1988. So very emotional for me. Very emotional.
That's awesome. Yeah. I say this a lot, and people don't really understand it. You're not really a baseball fan until baseball breaks your heart. So, right. I mean, this because you can't win every year. You have to get beat up, and this game will beat you up. And like, for instance, even the game that the Rays won on the where the Dodgers look like little league players basically at the end of that play, but you guys, the Dodgers came back from that. I mean, that's the great thing. You can lose 3 times in a series and still win the series. You don't have to be on suicide watch after one loss, so like this team was built to win. So how are you feeling, Mark?
Kind of like what Ryan was feeling, because it did hit a lot of flashbacks. Like as he was in the stretch, it turned into, oh man, I remember Kershaw getting jacked by Matt Adams in the 7th inning. Oh, well, that happened again. Back in Game 5 with the Mets, the back-to-backs that Kershaw gave up. Just feeling like all those feelings started coming, and then it turned into, all right, he needs to throw a strike. Okay, throw heat. And then he did it. And then it turned into like that second of like what's happening or what just happened. And then I let out like the most primal scream at like 10:45 at night, because obviously I'm in the Texas time zone. And I'm just like yelling and trying to rip off the shirt off my chest, pounding on the walls, just making sure. And then, God bless my wife. She was telling me, "Hey, you need to be quiet." And then I was like, "Yeah, I do, but I'm not.
No, not today.
This isn't gonna happen." Because it was just something where, like, the cliche is you got the monkey off your chest or whatever. that's what it felt like. It just felt like the burden was lifted, not just from like Dodgers as players, as a team, but as fans, because we all have felt that pain for so long, and now it's finally off. It's off of us.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Thank you for that. And Gino, like, what was your reaction, and what was the stadium reaction? I mean, was it, obviously there was limited fans there, but like, how was that there?
Is this a family friendly show? I mean, can I say like exactly what I said during that moment?
Go for it. It's a hoppy hour.
It's hoppy hour. All right, yeah. So
yeah, we're drinking on camera, and you're worried about a little language.
Good point, Ryan. Good point.
He's thoughtful.
So,
Yeah.
so when I don't think I could have got any more holy shits out, in that small amount of time. And when it happened, I mean, it was just like holy shit. I have it on Instagram, and right as soon as he struck him out, I mean, people that I was with, and including myself, we just lost it. I mean, we all started weeping like children, and it was just unbelievable. And going back, when they took Snell out, I mean, it was just, everything just changed. So you could feel them. I was sitting around, I mean, most of the fans there were Dodger fans. I'm sure you experienced the same thing, right, Ryan?
Yes.
Yeah. So it's mostly Dodger fans.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, just instantly Snell goes out, and you just knew this is it. The Dodgers got it.
That's awesome. Yeah. Go ahead.
But I cried like a child, Mike. I cried like a child for a good 5 minutes.
No, this is the apex of like, what a Dodger or a baseball season's all about. And to be there, I mean, and especially in the circumstances, must have been just like overwhelming, because you're like, oh my God, like I'm here for this. And yeah, this doesn't happen every day. So very, very, very cool. Yeah. So Angelo, I know that you had some questions that you wanted to put out there as well.
Yeah. So, I mean, just to kind of follow up on everyone's kind of the feeling and how they felt in the moment, kind of brings me back to one of my favorite movies, Moneyball. In the line specifically when Brad Pitt just kind of echoes that it's hard not to be romantic about baseball. Very similar to how you said you've never lived until baseball has broken your heart, but in this moment, in this moment I was watching, I just was thinking about Ryan, I was thinking about Mark, I was thinking about James, I was thinking about my buddy Brandon, and all these Dodger fans that I've known, Eddie, in our baseball chat, like, okay, this is vindication. And if you look back, I was watching or they were showing some highlights from the other 3 times that the Dodgers had made the World Series in the last 4 years, and you look at the first team, and I think Ryan, you and I had and Mark had a conversation about this, saying like, in that season, you guys thought that was your year and you were ready, but you realized in that series, okay, no, we're not ready. There's still some pieces that need to fill that void. Ryan, you remember saying that? Like, I thought we were ready and we weren't. And just year after year, you're by trial by error, you're making these additions and these roster changes to get the right chemistry. Manny, you thought Manny was going to potentially be the fix, and that wasn't the case. And I really think that that missing element, that missing layer of all those support players that you picked up over the last 2 seasons really solidified and proved that, hey, this is the team that's going to win, because the core was the same. The core was the same 4 years ago when they made it, but you've had all these additions of all these players to be able to contribute, and all contribute. So really, really awesome. And I was just so happy for all you guys and all the Dodger fans for that vindication. But we talked about, the feeling of, the emotions you were feeling. So now after you guys had some time to let it sink in, how does it feel to finally be like, okay, like, World Series champs, like the first time you post that on social media or the first time you say it, like what's, what was that like for you guys from a vindication standpoint?
I'll go. It's and you two and Mark and Angelo probably know this the best because I think I've posted something every day since that day. Like I just kind of post, hey, reminder, we're still the champs, you know. And it's nice to sit back. They replayed the game. Well, they probably played the game more than just when I watched it, but I think it was Thursday night maybe. Yeah. So I checked it in. It was like the second inning. I was like, oh, I'll come back. And I watched the 8th and 9th inning over again. And just because I was just such a sweaty, nervous wreck, just to kind of see, you know, just finally sit back without that worry and those nerves and just kind of watch it again and kind of relive it. And I still got the same emotion. What's interesting now is after the fact now, most of us who are like, I'm on social media a lot. I mean, I don't post a lot, but I look at a lot of stuff. I get a lot of my sports news as most people do. And now it's turned into kind of a defending yourself kind of situation because you only played 60 games and it was expanded playoffs. Everybody made it. Yeah, well, everybody had the same 60 games. Mm-hmm. We were first place. We would have made it no matter how many games we made or we played. So it's I mean, there's always going to be that no matter who won or who wins in any year. It's now looking back, it's amazing to have. I can't wait for all my merch to come in. But now it's almost seemed to turn into like a defense. You got to defend yourself a little bit, which is unfortunate, but it's.
Well, it's also, you know, there's 29 other teams that didn't win. So you're always going to have that. So it's no one can take it away from you. This is the season that it was.
No. Trust me, they don't bother me. Those things don't. When they post that, it doesn't bother me because those people would be celebrating just as much as we are had the Padres done it. I mean, the Padres had a parade outside for a wild card win. So like we don't celebrate anything until we win it. So it's just one of those things. It just comes with the territory for any sport, any championship. I mean, basketball, baseball, football. It just comes with the win.
I'll bet Manny Machado's contract that anyone that's
suddenly he's not so available, right?
No.
And it's funny.
Yeah, I think, and I think Michael and Kevin and I talked about this on the Tuesday show a couple weeks ago, or last week. If and there's always going to be those haters like, oh well, it's a shortened season, but I think that claim could be a little bit more justifiable had the Rays pulled it out, because the shortened season and expanded playoffs. That would have favored a team like the Rays, where it's there was a couple players that had standout playoffs. Arrows Arena had a historic, monumental postseason, but the truth is in the facts, right? Dodgers made the World Series 3 out of the last 4 years. They've had the same core team, the same core nucleus. So I think there'd be a better argument had the Rays won, say, well, it was a shortened season, it was only 60 games. But to Ryan's point, I mean, the Dodgers dominated the regular season, and they've essentially dominated the regular season each of the other times they made the World Series.
Right.
The other thing too, that with the schedule that these guys had, I mean, very, very, very little time off, and just the less chance for people to guys to recover and to do all that, or if they were injured, you're going through all these games where normally there'd be a couple, you finish a series and maybe get a day or two off for travel and what have you. But that was another thing that I found to be in the beginning of it, when they were kind of going over the schedule, like, holy, these guys are gonna have no time.
Right.
The strength of it, I kind of compared to The Walking Dead. In that show, there's always 2 or more situations. You're in battle with some other type of human element, and then you're in battle with these zombies outside. Now all these sports, athletes in any sport are now facing constant, pressure from, to play their sport and also protect themselves from this virus and spreading it without their team and spreading it about their the league and protecting their families and stuff. So I've always, had this belief and told people, like, I think this year was just as hard as any other year because you did a spring training, you cut it off, you took 3 or 4 months off. You didn't have a true spring training to come back to. You had exhibition games against yourself. Now that helps us because we're good all around. I mean, you put any combination of 9 guys with us, and it's going to be pretty competitive because we're so deep. But to have to battle, the injuries which comes with the sport, the other team that you play every night, and then to have protections and change up your routine and do all these things to protect yourself from this outside element that has nothing to do with sport. I think that makes this win more gratifying and also harder to accomplish because of all of those extra factors.
Yeah, well said.
Yeah, I totally agree. And when you, I also think the fact, can you imagine if they would have had to go from LA to Tampa and back?
Right.
That would have been super rough. We have somebody chime in to tell Ryan to be quiet about the Dodgers. I don't think we'll have a show if we tell everybody to be quiet.
Can we post Dan's post on Twitter before the season when he said the Phillies were going to go 60-0? Can we post that? Because right after that, I said, I can't remember the exact numbers. I said, looking at your schedule, dude, you're looking at like 3-9. They started 3-9. They start whatever I said. They started exactly with that. It was, I of course, after we won and they missed the playoffs, I retweeted that part from 4 months ago just so he could have that reminder. Appreciate it.
Yeah, my only brag about this World Series, I didn't have a dog in the fight, so it's like, but I said the Dodgers would win in 6, and the one thing that I knew about the Dodgers are built to win, obviously. Mookie put him over. The way he was playing, he wasn't going to deny them from this victory. But when people like Austin Barnes was stepping up, Will Smith, Max Muncy, how much do you love Max Muncy? He has been great. Man. Until he came to the Dodgers, no one even knew about him. So, and then a whole bunch of other pitchers stepped up as well. But everybody's, even Kike, wherever you put him, he not only plays well, but he hits. So it was. I had a feeling they were going to win. Arozarena definitely scared me. I was like, he's a former Cardinal, so I'm lamenting that. So there's a lot of former Cardinals that did a lot of damage in the playoffs this year. But what is going to take? What do the Dodgers need to sustain this? They've had a winning formula for a long time, but how do they take this victory and extend it into the future?
Yeah, seven free agents after the close of Tuesday night, right? So, what's next?
No, I think stick with the plan, stick with the formula. There's things obviously we're not privy to. Dave Roberts and Friedman they must have lost my number somehow. But but I think they have something there that they stick with that and because clearly every year it's done something, and this was finally the year that it paid off. And making those tough decisions, and at the same time making some of those risks, like hearing about Mookie. Hey, Mookie, David Price for a year. Okay, cool. This will give us a good chance. Is this going to be a thing? And then obviously life happened, and Price left, and then right before everything got started, they signed Mookie to this astronomical deal, and it's just ooh, okay. I guess we're really
business.
Yeah, we're ready to deal here, and I think. Stick with whatever the plan is and alter course is needed.
Yeah. Angelo wants Jock Peterson, by the way. That he's an angel, by the way.
Yeah, I was telling my wife. My wife is a huge Angels fan, and as he was doing his thing, it's wow, he would have been an Angel this year.
Imagine. Yeah, could you imagine? Yeah. I feel like just talking about just members of our team that are free agents. personally, like I think Justin Turner should be back. He's not slowing down. I know he's one of the elder statesmen of our team, but he's certainly not shown, you know, any decline. I guess depending on what David Price does, you know, what the situation next year is, I could see us going after a starting pitcher hand. My super wish is Trevor Bauer. I'm a huge Trevor Bauer fan. He's a UCLA boy, so I'm a UCLA fan. So like, I would love to see him over here, especially in that situation where David Price may not be. Because that's the one thing that worried me in the World Series after going to Game 7 against Atlanta was, all right, well, I figured Kershaw would start Game 1. We'd have to push Walker Buehler back, but it was always that so-called bullpen game that really worried me because as that starts to stretch out, if it's not working, now you've compromised every other game after that to some extent. So I would love to get Trevor Bauer in there. But like I said, everything else, I would love Kike back. I love him.
Yep.
Jock would. I think Jock's a free agent. If I'm not.
Yeah.
I'd love to have him back. But I mean, there's so much freedom in our team right now. I read that we don't have anybody signed after 22. And that's Mookie Betts because we have him till he's like 80. Yeah. So
he's a good one. Yeah,
that's personally. That's what I like to see.
Like the Cardinals, actually, they got rid of Colton Wong, and I think they didn't even match his offer for like $21 million. I mean, that also plays into it as well. The economy of all these teams and like going forward, there's so much uncertainty. Like they cut him loose, and I thought that was a really big kind of telling little thing for baseball. There's also a potential impending strike that could happen next year. So there's a lot of questions like last year. I mean, actually this year kind of really festered that as well because the Players Association and Major League Baseball didn't get along in the process. But Gino, if you had somebody on your wish list, who would you like to see in Dodger Blue?
Well, you know, going back to the Justin Turner thing, I have, and I think I've talked to you about this, Michael, that I have like a person on the inside of the Dodgers that's gotten me to do some really cool things. I met with this person yesterday and we brought up Justin Turner. And, you know, my source basically says that, you know, it's not looking good that he will be back next year. Especially if he doesn't apologize for the COVID thing, you know, but who knows?
Yeah. I mean, nobody has to apologize anymore. They just do what they want.
Yeah. I mean, but yeah, I mean, if anybody, I mean, I hope he's back. You know, he's kind of been like for me, he's kind of like the chief, you know, and the guy that I just remember just rallying. I mean, the 2017 Cubs game where, you know, he that walk-off home run was just crazy. I mean, one of the greatest moments, you know, along with that 18-inning home run. I mean, there's moments like that, you know, but yeah, I hope Justin's back.
We talked, I think we had some conversation about this in one of the group texts I'm in, that I think a big weighing factor in his decision or the Dodgers decision whether to resign him is if the MLB decides on moving forward with the universal DH position, because I could certainly see Justin Turner going to an AL team and being able to contribute at the DH level right away, and be able to plug him in, you know, fielding or defensively as they need it or if they need it. So, you know, hopefully that, you know, that information will be, you know, released or negotiated soon, because I mean, even from the outside looking in, I mean, there's a heavy association with Justin Turner and the Dodgers. So I hope that you guys are able to re-sign him.
Yeah. And remember, you know, one of my favorite players is Albert Pujols, and Angelo, even though he's done really great things for the Angels, you know, he's going to make what, like, $30-40 million, and he's like turning 40, you know, so it's like there's a lot of money involved in keeping players. They don't want less, you know, as they get older. So that's definitely a factor. So we have about 25 minutes left, so I wanted to use it efficiently. So thanks for all the great conversation about this, but we're gonna play a little game here. And
Michael, before we jump into trivia, I'd be remiss because there's 3 follow-up things I want some of these guys to discuss, and we'll get right into trivia. First one short. So Mark, What shirt did you almost rip on Tuesday when the Dodgers won the World Series?
This
That
one
very
right here.
shirt.
Oh yeah.
Okay, I'm
So-
glad you did. I'm glad you didn't rip that one.
So I found this shirt in storage about 1.5 years ago when we were clearing out the storage,
Wow.
and I don't know what it was, but then I was looking at it. It's from '91, so
Yeah.
I almost ripped it, and I was like, I can't rip this. This
Yeah.
has to stay in my rotation. So
Definitely.
I'm glad you didn't rip it because that's
yeah.
kind of your.
I mean, I legit would have Hulk Hogan, Hulkamania, 88 to now would have just went down the middle, but
Hey, Mark,
yeah.
is that your thing? You rip your shirts when they have a big win?
If it has
He's a very hey. You know when Mookie scored in Game 6 when he on the
on the slide,
the grounder?
on the contact, yeah.
You know how he did the little pump?
Yeah.
That's Mark. Like that is Mark to a T. Like the little fist pump. Like if you ever see Mark in that element of watching the game, and I have many times, that's like he also even looks like Mookie Betts a little bit. So like just when Mark sits
I
there,
don't see it like angles.
like it's just I laughed so hard because I wasn't in Texas at the time, even though I was there with him for games 1 through 4, 5 maybe. It's just so funny.
Like, nice. That's awesome.
And what a difference 2 years makes. He looks like Betts in 2018, and nobody wants to talk to him.
Yeah. Now look at me.
And then Ryan, you recently got a new cat.
Yeah.
So you want to share with the viewers and the panel
on.
your cat's name?
Can you bring the little one? Yeah. So on game, we have an older cat, not an older cat, but an adult cat, and it needs a friend. So is he nearby? Oh yeah. So while I was at game 1, my fiance picked up a cat, a little baby cat's about 8 weeks, and we named it Mookie.
Nice.
Let's see, there's my camera.
Mookie Cats.
Mookie Cats is his
That
name.
is awesome.
CATTS, 2 T's, like Mookie Betts. So that's Mookie Cats. So for the past week, since the World Series, I've been yelling Mookie in my house. So, my fiance likes to take some credit for the Dodgers winning by buying Mookie Cats or getting Mookie Cats the day of game 1. Yeah.
And then lastly, I've been waiting for the story to be told since we started the Beer Baseball Blogcast. So I'm sorry if I'm putting you on the spot, Dr. James Morgan. But you have a beautiful 2-year-old boy, and you want to share your son's name and how you guys came about that name. And please be specific, not graphic, but specific.
I can go get her if we can. Oh, okay.
No, don't. No.
So, 2017, earlier in the year, my wife and I we became pregnant, and then shortly thereafter lost the baby. So then, during that period of time, we, we just did our grieving, and then kind of got back into the mindset of like that. Now we're ready to try again, and this was around the postseason baseball. So we basically so game 2 NLCS is when we started talking about all this stuff again, and I'm sorry, I was drinking too much earlier. Anyhow, we it was game Justin Turner's walk-off game, and that's when we went home, and it happened to actually be the day of National Pregnancy Loss Awareness Day, something to that effect. We went home, we prayed about it, and anyway, shortly thereafter, we'll skip the good part of we found out that we were pregnant again, and after our baby boy, we went through a lot of different names, and we decided that we would name our son Turner James Morgan.
Very cool. Very cool.
I mean, with the red hair, you have to.
Yeah.
I mean, it was either that or Carrot Top, and my wife.
Both very
Get some heat for that,
successful in their
brother.
fields.
Yeah.
Yes.
Carrot Top's ripped, bro.
Yeah, I mean, hey, shout out to Carrot Top, and I'm sure you're watching.
Yeah.
Hey, speaking of which, getting Dustin May on there. Now we got Carrot Top as another Dodger fan, so just the
Exactly.
more the better at this point. Yeah. After all that, we just not only from the integrity of Justin on the field, but also outside the field of all the stuff that he did or he does still, especially with the LA Dream Center and all that. That we decided that we both came up with two different lists of just 15, 20 names, and then we were starting to chip away. We didn't tell each other which ones we were taking off, and then at the end we were taking a little vacation, and we decided that of the final three names that we both had Turner on our top list, and that's how we came up with it. So.
Awesome.
Yeah,
That's amazing. What a great story. Thank you for sharing that.
That's cool.
All right, so we're going to play some Dodger trivia. So the way that we're going to do this, okay, so I'm at the top, Ryan, Angelo, Mark, Gino, and James. So we're going to go in that order. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give the question to Ryan. Ryan can answer it or miss it. It'll go to Angelo and so on and so forth. And then whoever gets it gets a point. And we'll go that way. The winner at the end, I will send them a little something. What do you think about that? So Dodger related. I think you'll enjoy it.
Hey guys, I'm sorry, but I'm hoping that I don't make y'all look bad because
I was gonna say, like, to get on the spot for trivia, like I could do it randomly off my head. Hey, did you know this? But
this is Dodger trivia. You should know this as a fan.
Yeah, but
Angelo,
it
sounds like
it's a little different.
sounds like Angelo.
And being young does not. You can't say you're too young. I say this to everybody. You guys have the internet, so we had books. We actually had to look at books and actually, lug them around. So, all right, let's do this. So, Ryan, how many World Series titles do the Dodgers have in franchise history?
Oh, I just saw this the other day. We have one less than the Giants. We have. Oh, it's one of two numbers. 6.
Wrong. Angelo.
Nah, it's the other number.
7.
I just handed it to you, Angelo. You're welcome.
7.
They actually have one in Brooklyn, 6 in Los Angeles.
6 in
So
Los Angeles,
Angelo
that's right.
on the board.
I believe
right.
the announcer said it too when they closed.
Yeah.
For the 7th time in Major League
What
history.
announcer?
Yeah. Whoever.
you're on mute.
Because if it was Joe Buck, I wasn't listening.
Definitely.
All right,
Carl
Angelo,
Bernsteiner.
the question is to you now. What year did the Los Angeles Dodgers win their first World Series?
I don't know, 1964?
No. Mark can steal it.
I don't know, but I'm just gonna go 55.
No. Gino.
54.
Is this
No.
like the price is
James.
right?
59.
That is it.
Ah.
1959. The same year that Alaska became a state.
That's true.
Who did I learn that
That's a good
from?
factoid.
Vin Scully.
That's true. That is true.
All right.
Well, I need to get liquored up some more.
James, question is to you. Who was the first Los Angeles Dodger to hit 40 home runs in a season?
40 home runs. Golly, because that hasn't. I don't know, but I'm going to go with Piazza. I think he was 36.
Boom for the win.
Oh!
All right.
That was my guess too.
Nicely done.
Thanks, sir.
And the question goes to you. In 1981, the Dodgers beat what team to win the World Series?
That goes to me.
No, that's still James.
James. Huh?
James can run the board here.
Okay. You said 81.
Yeah.
That 88 was Athletic. That would be the New York Yankees, I believe.
100%.
Wow.
Man, that I was thinking this liquor would be.
You had just enough liquor today to do it right. All right, James, to you.
Yeah.
In 1988, what pitcher held the MLB record for 59 consecutive scoreless innings and was the World Series MVP that year?
I will take Oral Hershiser for $1 million, please.
And his nickname?
The Bulldog.
Boom. Nailed it.
Wow.
All right. James, what two players led the Dodgers in home runs in the 2020 regular season?
This is one that I'm gonna screw up. Because it was so recent. I'm so good at the historical. The regular season.
Regular season.
He wasn't Muncie. I'm Corey Seager. Nope. Okay.
Nope.
Damn it.
Ryan, to you.
One was Mookie Betts.
Who is the other?
I'm going. I'm down to two players. It's such a slow start, but I'm going to say Max Muncy.
Not it. Very good guess, though. Angelo, do you have a guess?
Oh, I know it now. I just remembered.
The only one I would have thought of was Mookie. I don't know. I'll defer to Mark.
Mark's gonna know because of my reaction. You've got to know.
Mark, who is it?
Betts in. Oh Lord, it just escaped my head. God, I don't want to go top of lineup.
It's all right. Just keep skipping back down to me. It'll get to me again, and I'll say it.
Betts and Turner.
No,
not
Turner.
Gino.
I'm just gonna pass.
No points. No points.
I know it. Yeah.
Not who you think it would be. I didn't even think that it would be him either.
As soon as I said Max, I was like, no, it was AJ. Like it hit me right. I remember because it was people were talking about it because it was so unusual because he had such a bad year last year that he came in and crushed it.
And there's a reason why they got him. He was a great player for the Diamondbacks.
He was amazing for Arizona.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, James, the question is to you. Who is this?
I don't know. I like his bat though.
I wish they used that.
That's a
bat.
lumber
Wouldn't
pal.
that be great?
No, that's a bat. That's a bat for me. I like it, but I'm gonna pass on that one.
Wow.
Can we go wrong answers only?
Yeah, wrong, put a wrong answer out there.
I'm gonna get in trouble.
Ryan, who's this?
Ed Davis. I don't know.
Angelo, who is this?
No idea.
Mark, who is this?
Delino DeShields.
Very good guess, but it's way too big. He's way too big. Gino, come on, man.
Pedro
We're the same
Guerrero.
age. There it is. Pedro Guerrero. Gino is on the board. All right, Gino. Who is this?
Ah, shit.
That's a head of hair.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
God, I remember this. It's wrong, but I'm going to say Jaeger.
It is not. James, who is this?
That is the Penguin Ronce.
Boom.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I see it
James
now.
cleaning up.
Yeah.
Wow.
All right, James, who is this?
I'm mesmerized by the glasses.
Yeah, I can't. Can I see his eyes, please? Yeah.
Pass on that one.
All right.
It looks like he's at a skate park. Like if you see the reflection in his glass, it looks like he's at a skate park. I'm gonna. I have no clue. I'm not even gonna embarrass myself by throwing out a random answer.
All right. I was gonna say Angelo is such a staunch Angels fan that he popped out of the, but here he is. I'm gonna remove the other one.
He's reappeared.
So I'm actually gonna put him back. Right? No, there we go. Oh, this screwed up my whole thing. Angelo.
Sorry. Is it my turn?
There you go.
It is.
One more switch.
It is your turn.
Don Drysdale?
No. Mark, who is this?
Tim Wallach.
Oh, that's a great guess, but it's not it.
That is
So
a good guess.
Let me switch Gino right
That is
here.
a good guess.
Gino, you know who this is.
We'll go with Jaeger again.
It is Steve Yeager.
Yes.
All right. Now, Gino, this question is to you. What did these three players do collectively that has never been done in baseball history?
Ooh.
Oh wow. Wow.
It is World Series related, so I'll give you that clue.
Right. Yeah, I have no clue.
James?
I don't recall Jaeger being a big stolen base guy. I'm going to say most runs batted in.
No. Ryan, any clue?
I'm gonna go with they were all over 300 hitters.
Good guess. Good guess. Not it. Angelo.
We'll go with James's initial instinct because that was my initial instinct that they all stole a base in the same game.
No. It's actually much bigger than that.
Ooh.
Oh.
Mark.
Geez. That's bigger than that. Hit for the cycle.
That's a very good guess. Not it. Gino, any clue? This happened in 1981.
No, not a clue.
All right. So James is the winner, but I will give you the answer to this. So in 2001, Randy Johnson and Curt Schilling were both the MVPs of the World Series. In 1981, all three of these players were voted MVP of that series. That has never happened before in baseball history, that they had three MVPs. And if you look at their stats, they're impressive, but like they should have picked one. But that's never happened in baseball history, and it happened in 1981. So yeah, the guys that you probably couldn't even pick up out of a lineup have made baseball history.
We need more Ray-Ban wearing
Yes.
players.
Right.
100%. So
In aviator
that
form.
Yeah.
That is the Hoppy Hour for this week. Thank you to Ryan. Thank you, Angelo, Mark, Gino, James, for taking an hour out of your time to talk Dodger baseball. This is where you can find us on social media, on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Ryan, did you have anything that you wanted to plug or throw out there?
Yeah, I have started a gaming channel on Facebook and Twitch. It is in the very early stages, so it's just me and my friends playing right now. But it's at Big Teach 45, all one word, TEACH, and you can find that on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Twitch.
Right on. Angelo, you're up.
Hey, thank you again, Mark, Ryan, James, and Gino for jumping on. And thank you, everyone, for tuning in. We appreciate your support. And please don't forget to tune in every Tuesday night at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time for the Beer Baseball Blogcast with myself, Michael, and Kevin. So thank you guys for tuning in to Hoppy Hour today.
Right on. Mark, you're up.
I don't have anything to plug. I just like to drink. If anyone comes out to Texas, hang out. And also, I'm plugging Big Teach 45.
That's right, baby.
He gets some good likes and good love. So
Some followers, please.
so that we can all help him out. It's all we're all in this together.
Man, that's a good brother.
Right on. Gino, you're up.
That's cool. Nice to meet all you gents. And Mike, thanks for having me on this. Thank you.
Thank you for having. Thank you for being here. James, you're up.
So nothing personal to plug anymore at this point, but a Big Teach, Beer Baseball, Championship Wrestling from Hollywood, Primetime Wrestling, and the 2020 Los Angeles Dodgers World Series champions.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, so on that note here, cheers to the 2020 World Series champs, the Los Angeles Dodgers of Los Angeles.
Yes. The originals, right?
The originals. But hey, congratulations. Crack a beer. And this is a PG show, so we'll leave the other half out.
Right on. Well, we will not see you at the brewery. We won't see you at the ballpark until next year.
Hopefully,
we will see you here on Tuesday nights, also on the weekend for the Beer Baseball Hoppy Hour. Thanks, guys. We'll see you next time. Good night.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.